Hey there, how's it going, guys? I hope you're all having a glorious and wonderful day today. Man, I must say that I wanted to make this video today because I'm almost at another full year of semen retention, and a lot has changed, obviously. Before I hit this recent year mark, I actually did semen retention for about 2.5 years without transmuting, right? I was sitting there gritting my teeth. I'm like, I'm going to contain this energy within me. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm sure it'll figure out where to go, right? But needless to say, it didn't. I wish I would have known sooner that I needed to find my own personal disciplines to transmute all this energy into, because inevitably I ended up having a wet dream and it was super intense. I just basically called it relapse and was like, I'm just going to start counting again from the very beginning. So that is what I've been doing now for almost a full year. But this time I've actually transmuted my energy, and I've actually come up with my personal 12 disciplines that I do day in and day out without missing a single day, and sometimes even doing them more throughout the day, like breath work. Breath work for me on this journey is definitely key to really transmuting all this energy anytime, anywhere, any place, without it, seeming superly weird, although I really don't care if I'm sitting somewhere and people see me meditating or anything like that. But you can do it anywhere. So, I wanted to quickly go through some of the major changes now I've seen in the 1 year of transmuting sexual energy, because it has been intense. It's way better, right, than just containing the energy and trying to just muscle through it, right? Because inevitably, if you don't transmute it, you're gonna release, or worse yet, you'll relapse, and you don't want to do that, right? You want to make sure you're circulating that energy within you. That way, you can channel it into your purpose or whatever it is you're called to do with that energy. So, to kick this off, some of the major things that I've already noticed so far in this 1 year transformation with semen retention and transmuting, right, is that my frequency keeps elevating, right? So what I mean by that is like natural light. It's almost like being a light bulb, right? And let's say the knob on the wall is all the way turned down, very, very, you can dim the light, turn the light on. And the more that you continue to channel that energy back into yourself, transmuting that energy back into yourself to raise your frequency, the more your light starts to shine, so to speak. It shines spiritually, and it's felt by not only you but by others, right? And yes, sometimes this causes people to envy you, people to hate on you, but on the other side, it also causes people to awaken, right? Those people that are like on the verge, or maybe need a little nudge to just start walking their spiritual walk, or like to see God or to feel God living in someone walking here on earth. This is what tends to happen, at least on my journey, that the more I focus on transmuting that energy into myself, right, investing that energy back into myself, whether it's through journaling, meditation, breath work, or anything like that, or working out, right, investing that energy back into myself, I start to level up. And the great thing about leveling up, though, guys, is that everything around you has to match your frequency. So it's almost like a cheat code to life. If you want to level up in life, just focus on yourself. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, because inevitably everything around you has to match, right? Everything around you has to match. And what I mean by that is, like, at least for me personally in my life, I worked at a very high-end security site that I ended up outgrowing, right? I ended up going through the tests, because you will be tested as your frequency increases, right? And with tests, I mean with people, things that happen to you, how you respond. Do you break character? Do you stay sovereign? Like, do you remain calm? Like, how do you respond to these tests? Or even when, like, people from your past try to connect with you, like, do you just, don't get worked up about it, just ignore it and keep it moving type of deal. So as you go through these tests, which is something I noticed at the very beginning of this year when I really just started transmuting, so many tests with people that I had to overcome. Like I had to set boundaries with people. I had to learn how to continue to set boundaries with people, and I was just always being tested with boundaries from different folks. But I learned to set those boundaries with them and keep them intact, right? And of course, there's other tests that happen. Respect. Like, how do you, you know, um, pretty much tell someone to stop being disrespectful, cut them out of your life if they're not willing to change, like just things like that. They're like my mission buddy and I is what I call him. He helps me, with my mission and my purpose. He said that they're basically sovereign tests. He was telling me about semen retention and how the more you retain, the path to this semen retention journey is really about becoming sovereign, right? Kind of like God. Obviously, God is still the main head, right? But you're becoming a mini version of him here on earth. You're learning how to act and become like him, not being moved by other people's, low frequencies and just the BS that they can throw your way. You're learning to stay sovereign, to be an anchor, to be a rock, to not be moved, to not need validation, to just be completely whole in yourself, right? And those are some other tests that you go through, like imagine you're in a room, you're shining with your frequency, and then everyone overlooks you, right? Like you're a nobody. And that's another test in and of itself that you have to pass. Like, can I stay sovereign? Can I stay unmoved, knowing I know who I am, even if no one else sees it, right? And it's an easy test. Like, thank God I've passed every test, but they just get easier with time, and you know how to predict them now, because every time you raise your frequency, there's always tests. I mean, that's just a pattern in everyday life, and you start to become aware of them the more that you do semen retention. At least that's what I've learned throughout this year of transmuting, is becoming aware of when my tests are coming up. It's almost like being in spiritual college, man. It's so cool because you're always growing, and if you love growth, this is going to be an amazing path for you because you're always evolving. So that's one thing I do want to point out. But anyway, so yeah, you will get tested, and the more you transmute, like your frequency, like I said, it'll rise and it'll start to change, and you'll evolve, and you'll eventually outgrow where you're at. And when you do that, then you level up, right? Like I'm already in the process of a change now, where I've left the old site that I was at, because I've already dominated that place. Like I've already completed all the tests that I needed there. Now I'm ready for my new site. I'm ready for a new place to go to, where I can now continue to grow, continue to get new tests, continue to become sovereign. As my mission buddy said, this path is to become sovereign. And so it's funny how this whole process of change, even right now, is helping me to grow. It's helping me refine my energy, helping me refine my disciplines, and it's just amazing. It's just an amazing journey to go through. And recently I've gone from working days to now moving into nights, because each part of the day has a different type of frequency as well. And I got, I worked the day. I really didn't want to at first, but they offered me really good money and a title, which I don't really care about at this point. I just rather make more money. But yeah, the day brings a different vibe, different people, different tests, and you get to see who's real, who's fake. And a lot of people play optics, and it's just funny how you can see through the facades on semen retention. You could just tell. You just start to feel people's energies, and who's real, who's authentic, and then who's fake. And so at this point in my life, I just want to get away from all of that. I just want to go back to nights where there's hardly any people out. I get to enjoy the stillness and the peace. And so that's something I notice changes. It changes on my journey too. I'll go back to day, go back to nights, and it's just part of the seasons that I'm in and how I grow, and it's just something I enjoy right now. and there's a purpose and a place for everything, even the day shift. Like, I loved, on semen retention, when I would meditate and do my breath work, like being out in the sun just felt so amazing, like it just hits you, and especially like when you're really charged, it grounds you, it helps you just like channel that energy into something else, and it's something that really helped me out during the day. But now I don't miss the sun, don't need the sun. I'm enjoying the moonlight, I'm enjoying being out at night, like I said, the quiet and the stillness. And so there's a time and a season for everything, and that's just kind of where I'm moving along right now, because I continue to do the work, right, day in and day out. But also, as I continue to do this, like I said, everything starts to change. Patterns start to change. I never stay in the same loop, and that's something you'll learn on semen retention, is you learn how to break your own loops. If you're stuck in loops, you'll become aware of them, and then you'll break them. And even on this journey too, like, I've learned that I'm here to break my ancestral loops that no one else has had the courage to face, or even the strength to actually break, because of past conditioning. Because I've done the work. I've looked back into my family patterns. I've seen how a lot of them were scared to do things that I'm not afraid to do. They were based in optics, they were based in performance. Like, you just go really deep within yourself, right? You start to see your ancestral roots, what was passed down to you, what you need to break, and it just becomes this whole crazy like journey. And so that's something that I continue to dive into, and letting emotions rise, because I'm learning now how to channel my energy into so many different ways, and even specific chakras within myself, like channeling my sexual energy into my heart and just blasting my heart like, like a power washer, to get all the gunk out, because there's still stuff there that we don't even know that we have, right? And when you just hit it, and it's like you feel it rise, you feel the emotions rise. It's like getting a massage. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten a professional massage, but I've actually studied massage. And when you find trigger points in your body, when you find one, it kind of feels like a knot. But when you press on it and you just keep at it until it releases, like that energy is released into your body. And sometimes, you'll laugh hysterically, or you'll cry, or you'll get angry, because there's an emotion there that needs to be released. And on this semen retention journey, especially when you're transmuting, and if you do it with purpose, you'll start to really trigger those emotions within yourself that just need to come up and be released, And the best way to express whatever comes out is maybe like if you have a sacred room where you could shout, yell, scream, whatever, journal, But it never ends, right? It never ends. Like, you're consistently growing yourself. And so, like I said, if this is the journey where you're like, I love growth, I want to take a mirror and see what's in me, dude, this is going to be like the best journey for you. Because what my mission buddy is saying is too many people are afraid to look in the mirror. And I don't even know why. Like, it's you. Like, why wouldn't you want to see what you need to work on to get better, to become the best version of yourself, right? Like, I'm always like, where's the damn mirror? Like, show me all my dark aspects, because I love the dark in me, like, I love everything about me. And that's something you just learn to gain as you do sexual energy retention, because I could be in a room full of people sitting by myself, and I feel so complete and so whole that people are like coming up to me like, what does this guy have? And of course, like, I'm just like, stay away, like, I'm at a point in my journey where I don't want to be around people. I enjoy my presence, well, God's presence and my own presence, like, by myself. Like, I am so whole, I am so complete, I don't need anything or anybody. Becoming sovereign, right? What did I say earlier? Becoming sovereign is the goal of this journey, at least for me, right? Needing nothing, needing no validation. I validate myself because I am the standard now, because I am doing all the work. I am sacrificing. I don't even call it a sacrifice now, but I am doing the work, right? I'm doing the work that no one else is willing to do. And it validates me, because not everyone's going to do it like I do. I'm one of one. I'm one of a kind, man. And so with that, you gain confidence within yourself. The sexual energy fills you up. You become whole again, like a kid. Like, you become unmoved by just things that move other people. Like you just see through all the BS. Like it's an incredible journey. That's all I'm saying. If that's in a nutshell, it is an incredible journey if you stick with it and you do the work and you stay disciplined and it validates you. You know, how many people can walk into a room and just be like, yeah, I retain and I do all these disciplines every single day and I never miss. You know, it's like you're just one out of one, and people feel it. People feel your energy. People can feel you when you walk into a room. Like, you have no idea how many times I'll walk into a room and recalibrate it just with my presence. You know, like people will be talking something and then I walk in, everyone hushes up, conversations change, and that's a power that you get on semen retention too. You know, anywhere you go, you rearrange everything. You set the standard, because your energy is the standard because you've done the work. And that's why it triggers people, because something that I've learned is that, obviously, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this too, is that emotions are contagious, right? Emotions are contagious. So when you walk in with the highest frequency and you've done the work, people pick up on that, and it forces them to see themselves in the mirror. It forces them to really see things that they need to work on. And people that are like ready for that love you, and the people who aren't ready for that are like, oh my gosh, like I need to get away. So you set the standard because you're now carrying the highest frequency. And I notice that everywhere I go. Like, my frequency literally impacts and recalibrates rooms around me, and it's great to see. You're setting the standard now. And so as you continue to evolve on this journey, you'll be called to like certain places and to really disrupt the system and just recalibrate it to God's higher purpose. And so that's something I've definitely noticed, like, on my journey, is using this energy to just recalibrate grids, is what I call them with my mission buddy. We recalibrate grids, and of course grids test you as well. Like, there's just like a whole different language. I could make a whole video just about grids that my mission buddy has been helping me teach and refine my energy and to control and to really just master it. Different grids, different sites, and it's just amazing, how you get tested by grids. And I might have to make a whole video on that later. But needless to say, I've become aware of grids now, of my own energy, my own mastery, becoming better at my energy, my energetic mastery as well. It's amazing how much power you get and how much power you can control people in a good way, right? Because that's the great thing about semen retention is, first of all, you have to purify yourself. And I want to touch really lightly on a topic real quick, because I do want to start wrapping up this video. But women, right? A lot of guys start this because of women. And it's funny because every time I Google, semen retention energy or whatever, semen retention on YouTube, it's always like semen retention attraction or women this, women that. I'm like, dude, who gives a damn? Like, once you reach a certain level of semen retention, you just don't even care what women think about you. You're just like, why do I need to be validated by a human being? Like, I'm already validated. I've already validated myself. I don't need somebody to make me better than who I already am. Like, and if you're still at that level where you feel like you need a woman, then it's like you still need to do the inner work. You still need to do the inner work. And from my personal journey, I've already decided and committed in my mind, I don't want to ever unite myself with a woman ever again. And it's not because, I hate women or anything like that, but it's my personal choice. I don't want to pollute my sexual energy with anyone because I've already done it before in the past. Even when I wasn't releasing, even when I was containing my energy and still, connecting with the woman on that level, physically, emotionally, whatever, I was still picking up on her energy, and I don't want that in my body. I want to be a pure vessel of my own frequency, and I'm willing to make, it's not even a sacrifice, it's a choice, right? I love my frequency. I don't want to pollute it. I want it to be pure. And I don't think a lot of people will ever get to that point, and it doesn't matter because that's their journey. But my journey is to be completely pure, retain, and just share my journey as I am now. So, I really wanted to start wrapping this up, but in a quick gist, my 1 year transmutation of doing semen retention is you increase your frequency, which is amazing, and then everything starts to change around you, but you have to pass the tests, right? You will be tested. It's normal, right? And it's just a rinse and repeat, right? Rinse and repeat. You level up, right? You do your disciplines every day, you level up, you get tested. Keep doing your disciplines every day, you level up, you get tested. And that's it. It's really that simple. But really just wanted to share that really quick for you on my 1 year of just transmuting my sexual energy. So hopefully this helps you out in some way, shape, or form, or you take a gold nugget from it. Either way, you got to do you got to follow your own journey, and I'm just like I'm doing mine. So in the meantime, guys, hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.